Hey guys, what's up? I hope that you are doing okay. Soon the war will over and Israel will have to ask herself what to do with thousands of terrorists. And in this video, I would like to discuss about few different solutions for what Israel should do with the terrorists when the war is over. And I would like to speak about four different kind of terrorists. I want to speak about terrorists that are in the Israeli prison that did terror attack against Israel, against Jews before the October 7. The second group will be terrorists that Israel captured at the October 7, right after the October 7, terrorists that participated in the massacre. The third kind of terrorists will be terrorists of Hamas that are fighting against Israel right now and surrender to Israel and Israel captured. And the four kind of terrorists are the terrorists that are still fighting against Israel and they might surrender in a part of agreement that they will have their life, they will be able to go somewhere else, and Israel will get agreement with them that they are surrender and move out of the Gaza Strip. Now I would like to discuss about three different solutions, and the three different solutions will be leave them in the prison in Israel for the rest of their life. The second solution will be to send them to another country. And the third solution will be to execute them. So I would like to discuss about those three different solutions. First, about the prison. We need to know that in Israel there are already a little bit more than 5,000 terrorists that are in the prison in Israel. Unfortunately, from what it's looked like in the eyes of the simple Israeli, they have 5 stars hotel there. They can do a degree, they can study in the university, they get money from the Palestinian Authority, they can buy themselves snacks and candies and to study, and they are able to celebrate their holidays and to see their family. Israel definitely doesn't do enough to make this prison hell for those terrorists. The other thing is that Israel from time to time are releasing terrorists from prison. We can see from Entebbe operation to Gilad Shalit treaty to many different examples how the terrorists trying to kidnap Israeli citizens or soldiers in a goal to release some of their people from the prison. So they are coming a goal to justify hurting Jews and Israelis. So this is one of the things that make them a problem. But the other thing is that there are just thousands that are staying there inside the prison. Some of them murdered Jews. And some of them are belong to Hamas organization. If we are kicking out all the people of Hamas out of the country, maybe we should do the same thing with them. But anyway, so for them, execute them already. If we didn't do that in a long time, it will be very difficult. But for those of them that actually kill Jews, it might be possible. Why it might be possible? I spoke with an American friend a few days ago. He is a lawyer in the United States, and I tried to understand the logic of how how the courts in the United States make such a decision. So obviously there are different between the states, but the main thing, like a principal thing that I figured is that when someone is doing an action that is such an evil thing to do that he cannot live with, it cannot be equaled anymore with the normal people that have a normal moral standard. When someone is doing a crime that is absolutely like vicious, he should disappear, he should be dead. And it's definitely the case. Israel didn't execute any terrorists, but she did executed Adolf Eichmann, for example. And Adolf Eichmann had the idea that every Jew should be killed. The terrorists of Hamas have the same idea, and both of them try to do their best to make sure that many Jews that possible will be dead. Okay? So if Israel already executed Adolf Eichmann, if in some of the states, and mainly in the United States, because in the end she is the one that that used the veto right to protect Israel, if Israel will make a decision and it will be against the decision of the UN about what you're doing with those terrorists, so Israel definitely can say, in the United States is something that happened, so we can do the same thing here in Israel with those terrorists, because there is nothing else to do with them, because if they will stay alive, they will keep try to hurt Jews and they will keep try to kill Jews. Now, but the thing is, we're taking the whole number of terrorists right now, the terrorists that will surrender and the terrorists that are already in the Israeli prison, and the terrorists that Israel captured after the October 7, it's already going to be more than 25,000, more than 25,000 executions. It's a huge, huge number. Now, about taking all those terrorists into the Israeli prison, of course, as I said, they're going to get a good life, but also Israel will pay for this thing. But the good thing about that will be that they will be under Israeli control from now till the end of their life. The problem is that some different terror organizations will try to make a terror attack to send them out of prison, and then, well, when they will be out of the prison, they will return back to terrorism. We need to remember that Yahya Sinwar, for example, he was a terrorist that was in the prison in Israel, and many other terrorists that has been released in the Shalit Treaty, they returned back to terrorism and they killed a lot of Israelis. It's super dangerous thing to do, and we know that it's definitely a possible thing that one day that they will be out of prison. So the terrorists that are already in the prison, if we keep them there, it's still a problem that we need to solve. The terrorists that we now captured that did such a evil thing against Jewish people, did such a huge massacre, maybe we need to make a statement and to say those, we don't want them in the prison, we want to kill them. We want to kill them for what they did, to give an example for everybody that if they will do something like this against the Jewish people, they will be executed. But the other thing is that make the things more complicated. If now Hamas said, we are ready to surrender and to release the hostages, and in return, we want you to let us move to another state. We want to have our life. We don't want to die by you. So what Israel should do with that? What Israel should do in such a case? If they said, we want to finish the war, we are ready to surrender, we're ready to give you back the hostages, let's finish this war. Now what Israel should do with those terrorists? Put them inside the prison in Israel. As I already explained, it's not a very good option, but it's an option. I'm not sure that the terrorists will be able to accept that. But send them to another country. What will be complicated about that will be that they might return back in terrorism in the future. They might be able to go and to move out from this country. And I'll give you an example. The most famous example of expel terrorists out of the country where the war was in Beirut in 1982. In 1982, the PLO fought against Israel and did a lot of terror attacks against Israel. And in return, Israel intervened into Lebanon, and she did a siege around Beirut, and she enforced the PLO to move out from Beirut to Tunisia. The problem was that as a part of the Oslo Accord, Israel let them go back into Israel, into the West Bank, into Gaza Strip, and they returned back to terrorism. They were the people that started the Intifada against Israel. So definitely send them to another country might cause a problems. If you do something like that, it has to be a country that they will not be able to go out from, because send them to another country might be the only solution that they will accept for end this war. And if we do that, we must make sure that none of them will be able to go out to another country, which obviously will be very complicated because Iran will welcome them. If we send them to Qatar, Iran will welcome them. Other states that support terrorism will welcome them, so they will be at least free to go around different places. They will be able to train other terrorists. They will be able to, to make different terror attacks in different ways from the place where they will be. And this is one of the things that make it even more dangerous, because they're still having the same ideology, and they are in another country that they can, do in a very free way what they want to do, and to keep deal with terrorism just in another ways, but they will find a way to hurt you if they are still alive. And for the third thing, execute the terrorists. I do think that as the Jewish people, we have our own Jewish moral standard that definitely fits to the real standard of this world, that there is kind of evil that you cannot compromise with. And this evil should disappear. But as I said, we're speaking about thousands of terrorists. And this is what I suggest. The terrorists that killed and murdered Israelis, including the leadership of Hamas, should be dead. There is no question for that. This is the Jewish law. This is what we must do. And if not, if they will still be alive, we can be sure that they will return back to terrorism. About the terrorists that will be ready to surrender, we need to make sure that they go to a country that if they go out of this country, we will hurt them. We must to make sure to do our best to make sure that they will live a miserable life no matter where they will be, because we do want to finish this war and we do want to release the hostages, so we might have to accept that. And for the terrorists that are already in the prison and we didn't execute them in the past, I think that what Israel should do immediately is to make their life hell inside the Israeli prison and to make them pay for their actions. I love you all, and I'm putting this video in YouTube, but also in my podcast, so you are more than ready to listen and to send it to your family, to your friends. And as I said, you're more than welcome to ask me a question. I would love to discuss about your questions in the WhatsApp group. Love you all, and Shabbat Shalom.